What a week. Again, I have had some interesting times. This week, I've decided to start sizing up a bit, and I believe that has contributed to some interesting trade decisions that weren't ideal, or let's say I screwed up. Plus, I have had done something that is not in my character, which we'll go over as well, which has gotten me into trouble, and I've spent pretty much most of Thursday ironing out the mistake I have done on Wednesday. Anyways, my name is Joachim Gerie. This is Clear Trades, and let's get started with this week's recap. Before we dive in, let me actually share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm up to here. So this is my Telegram channel. You can hit the subscribe button, just basically click on the link in the description or the comments. I share all my trade ideas in here. When I take trades, how I manage them, what I think about certain things, potential setups I'm looking at, and more. So check it out and see if you like it. And then we'll look at what's going on here. I always have my account linked to my FX book so that you can see that this is a live account. So where are we? We're here. So you can see I had a really nice growth here, up over 10%, then a big pullback. What has happened? Well, up here I was probably around $4,960 was the account. I started with 4,500, and then I went all the way back to pretty much break even, and then I've recovered some with on Friday. Which is, so I lost around $316 or something like that in the amount from the high, but on the week I have lost around 132 or something like that, which is not too bad, but still it's not optimal what has happened. Why I'm showing you on this graph instead of down here? Well, because today I am recording the video on a Sunday rather than on a Saturday, and so it has already flipped over into the next week and it's not showing it. Good lesson for me. I rather should be making this on a Saturday. It makes it a little bit easier to show everything rather than me asking ChatGPT to do the math for me. So anyways, let's go through some of the trades that I've gone into, the huge mistake I've made, which is going to come up. All right, I gave yen a shot here. It basically just got into a range. So I decided to get out of it, and it would have worked out, but it would have taken a very long time. It would have been a swing trade for a longer period of time. You can see it ranging. I'm getting out and leaving it at that. Then I have a long position in GC. Pretty nice trade, actually. I already wrote this thing up from here to somewhere here, and it went even further. Pretty strong breakout. This on the 1 hour. And I thought in the morning it's going to break out, which it did, as you can see here, and I went long on it. Would have been even better if I would have gone long on here. Would have had a nicer profit potential. But anyways, I went long. I was saying it's going to have a second leg, which it did. And then we can see here, I closed CH. I was a swing trade. Nice profit here for $120 or something like that. I closed it before profit target. It was hit because it started to look like it's starting to bottom out somewhat. And I decided it's a good place to take profit. And then I got out of my UC. That was just ranging, and I didn't like it. That if you go to UC, it's starting to go down. It's respecting somewhat that trend line here, but yeah, I don't regret getting out on that. GC, I closed it here. It was close to profit target. It looked nice. I was like, I'm going to take that profit here, about $150 that I made on it. Not bad, $260 in total or something like that. And then I took on the 18th, I took a long in GC, had a pretty nice sell-off. It was ranging and started to break out. I took that long. It's GN, short on GN. Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that. That was a mistake. So that's another mistake I completely forgot about. I went short on GN. I regretted it. Sizing was too heavy. I was nervous around the trade, so I exited. Then I entered this trade here, which is a nice trade. It was going in my direction. Here, I decided to close it because it was close to a potential resistance zone. It was somewhat stalling here. And I had to work. So I was like, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna get out here. Now, looking at that, is that really a rational decision, or was that fear-based? And it looks to me now that that probably wasn't the best decision, because look, it's just going up. Is it going to go up and just reverse very hard? I don't think so. I think this should have had more of a try to breathe a bit more, to let it play out. But I closed it because I didn't want to let it open without me being able to watch it, and I closed at around 135 bucks. This would have been a huge profit if I would have just stayed in it. You can see it just went further up. Eventually, it actually spiked all the way up into my take profit. And so here you can see my psychology. I'm struggling a little bit with the heavier sizing. I'm not used to it. I'm probably sizing too heavy in comparison to before on those more experimental setups, as I call them, and which is why I'm having a bit of a hard time. And I start to size a little bit less heavy after that. And then I had a nice little video. And then here we go. This is EU, and this is where the mistakes start to happen. This was FOMC. It looked like it's breaking out to the top. I took a long position. What happened? It reversed. I closed my position while I was in there. I actually tried to do some recovery trades for it. So I can basically close both positions at break even. That didn't work. I incurred a little bit of a further loss. Then I went short. It was late at night, so I closed it. I'm like, I'm not seeing it straight, and I should have left it at that. But what happened? Well, at 3 a.m. in the morning, I wake up, I look at this, and I'm like, you know what? This thing is going to go down. Let me open this more. It sold off further, all the way down here on the 4 hours, like a clear break below the trading range. I'm like, this is going to go further down. I'm opening a position at 3 a.m. What the fuck am I thinking? 3 a.m. trading? No, not good. So I opened it, and of course, what does it do? It reverses hard and goes back up. I'm heavy. I'm too heavy in sizing. That's an issue. Okay, I'm not actually sizing appropriately. I closed a bit less than half of the position because I realized I'm sizing too heavy. So that was good. At least I had some, some things left in me that make sense to me. Some kind of wisdom in me still to size a little bit less heavy. And then it just when it started against me, I wanted to use it as a DCA approach, but I'm a bit too heavy to use the DCA approach. It probably would have worked out even if it were to go further against me with a DCA approach. But I would have basically had to leave this account just for this trade and not be able to take any other trade. So I didn't like that. But rather than just closing the trade, taking a loss, reversing my position, I was watching it, waiting for a reversal so I can put in a recovery trade, wait for a pullback, close all positions around break even, and let it be like that. But there's no pullback. Look at this. This is a 15-minute chart, and it's just going up and up and up and up and up and up. So what I did instead, this is Thursday, I spent all Thursday, and I haven't posted this in the Telegram channel, recovering this trade. So I went to EJ, I went to AUD CAD, I went to ADNZD, and a bunch of other things. I took a bunch of the trades there. Every profit I made, I used to size down this position here so that when it does reach up, I can re-enter here with about the same sizing as I had here. Now it goes down. It doesn't need to go halfway. I can close before that, and I can take a break even or even potentially a profit. Unfortunately, guests came. I missed this spike down close to this resistance zone. This was a very good place to add here. I missed that, so I got in somewhere down here, and I was able to get out of the position mostly with this trade and the EJ trade as well. I did take some losses on some of the trades as well. I was not in the best mental space. I woke up at 3 a.m. I didn't sleep afterwards anymore. I was tired. At the same time, I had to manage this position. I was a little bit freaked out, not doing very well, not doing what is necessary to make myself more calm. Again, another mistake that I shouldn't repeat in the future. So I went all the way back to break even from this little mishap. And I am from now taking two things I'm not allowed to do. One, I'm not allowed to trade FOMC with heavy sizing like I did. If I want to experiment with FOMC, I have to go to a small sizing, the very small sizing. Two, I am banned permanently to ever take a trade ever again in my life at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm not allowed to go look at the charts at 3 a.m. in the morning. It's stupid. I made a stupid mistake, and I wasn't clearly thinking at that time. But this is why I am sharing it with you, so you don't have to make stupid mistakes like this. You can take this as a rule yourself if you want to, and to not trade at 3 a.m. in the morning. It doesn't really pay off. We don't really do that well when we are sleep deprived. So anyways, this is my big mistake that has cost me. I was able to then recover it on the next day. I did manage to pull myself together psychologically, for the next day in my meditation. Everything worked out really well. I do highly recommend to do some meditation if you aren't doing so yet. It helps you to have a solid foundation for yourself, that when you are not doing well, you can have that meditation and it can pull you back into a more centered state. It has bunch of other benefits, but that's for another video. So Friday comes, 20th of September. I went long on GU. I was a little bit nervous about this trade, not because of what happened before, though that may have still been playing a little bit. I sized not as heavy, but more I was nervous because it is already pretty high GU on the daily. It's getting close to a resistance zone up here. How much more do we have to go? I didn't know, which is exactly why I decided to size less heavy on this one, which was good. It was a good idea. It basically went, here we go. It spiked up and then it started doing this a bit. I'm like, it's getting rejected. I had to go work, had a meeting. So I decided to close it. It spiked up a bit more and then plummeted. So I'm glad I got out of this. No matter what the result, actually, still, this is a good idea to get out. Unless I can really watch it, then sure, I can stay a bit longer in the trade. Then I caught a really nice long on EJ. That was a nice one that I got into. I didn't get the best entry on this one because I was watching this EJ trade and I saw how it was coming down. While I was trading it, I wanted it to come down a little bit more, but it didn't. And then it just took off like a rocket. And here there was a trend line before. It come to the trend, I kind of stalled here. I decided to go long. I'm like, I think this thing's going to break out because look at that. This bar, there's so much momentum behind this. It's bigger than all these bars before. So I was like, there's a good chance we're going to have at least some follow through on this thing. And so it went up. I had a nice take profit here. And where we are here, it spiked up and it channeled. The channel is quite tight. I could have stayed longer in it, but it was kind of stalling. It did have a pullback, but then it went further and it went all the way into take profit. And beyond. So I did take it maybe a little bit early, this one. Maybe taking partial profit. I did take partial profit, but I decided I'm just going to take the full profit. But I made about $140 on this, which is quite nice. So not bad. Then let's look at the next one. CH, I wanted to short. So as you know, I've already taken profit on that before. It came up. I want to get a better entry, so I was waiting for that. I posted that in here. Then GC is something I'm still waiting for. I'm waiting for a really nice overextension. That might be a bit too high, but still, somewhere in this area here looks interesting. That could be a very good place to enter, and I'll be risking a larger percentage on this on my account. So that would be a really, really good trade, but I'm waiting for it to play out. Then I did manage to go short on CH. It spiked up and I decided to short it. I managed to get a good entry on the 5 minute on this one. Let me just show you real quick. So you can see, here we go. It spiked up, it started to fail here. And I was like, this is good enough to give it a try. And then it starts selling off and I went to bed. And I'm having this open. We'll see what happens with this one, whether it's gonna, because it's at the moment it's respecting this trend line here, it seems. So we might have another spike up to here, and then maybe it sells off, or maybe it breaks it. If it does break this one, I'm probably going to get out early. I'm not going to think to wait for this. It's going to net me about 150, $200, something like that. So that's a nice setup. I mean, it's a nice swing setup. So that's it pretty much for this week. My recap, my incredibly stupid mistake that I'm sharing with you so you don't have to make the same mistake. And you can see also what's important is not that we make mistakes. It is important that we actually then learn from them so that you put rules in place so you don't repeat the same mistake over and over again. And this one is a very obvious one. Sometimes it's not so easy to pinpoint what exactly your mistake is. And that makes it a little bit hard to then create a rule for it for yourself, or to learn from it in a somewhat decent manner is not the easiest thing to do in some cases, but in this case it was so bloody obvious. As I've said, check out my Telegram channel, hit the subscribe button and a like if you like this. Share it with other people if you think this is useful. I am documenting my journey in this trading and how it unfolds. And you can stay posted on this. Like I'll do a recap once a week. That is usually when I go through my week and I show you, my good traits and my bad traits. And I usually do one video. At the moment, it's focused around beginners. Or on Wednesday, I upload that, so you can look at that. I usually try to have some kind of angle that is somewhat unique and has some unique perspective. That doesn't always succeed, but I think it is important to have more nuanced views on trading, and just instead of just going and repeating what everyone else says. So anyways, I wish you a beautiful weekend. I hope you had a good week. I hope you didn't have the same issue as me of creating, some stupidity in your life and then spending a full day freaking out and trying to, get out of a position. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that did that this week. I'm sure there's other weeks people do that as well. So anyways, I wish you a beautiful day. Take care.